Hello, my name is Kristen Atkins, and I'm here with Impressing Minds. And today I want to talk about ethnic diversity when you are in foster care, when you're a foster parent, and you are trying to decide what kind of child you want. Not really what kind of child you want, but when you're discussing with your partner about the race of the child, with everything going on in the world, should it matter what race the child is? I had a story one time. I had something happen to me one time. It's not a story. It's real. I was at the dentist office with my white girls, my older white girls, and I was there with my two foster girls. They happened to be biracial. And there was an older gentleman and his wife sitting in the corner. And didn't really pay any attention to him, but the baby started to squirm. She was in a carrier. The baby started to squirm, so I got her out. I lifted her up and held her in my lap. And he proceeded to say something to his wife. I'm not sure what it was. But she said, "Be quiet." And he said, "I don't care. It ain't right." And I became indignant because I knew what they were thinking, or I knew what he was thinking, or I thought I knew what he was thinking. And that led to me becoming angry and having to run my mouth. Yeah, I ran my mouth a little bit, but he wouldn't engage. And I was so mad too because he wouldn't engage with me. I wanted to fight. I wanted to explain to him how ignorant he was. I wanted to explain to him that he was a bigot and that he was wrong and he didn't know what he was talking about and he was old-fashioned and prejudiced. I just wanted to be angry with him. So that happened a long time ago. That happened probably 5 years ago. And I forgot about it, honestly. I forgot about it. It was in the back of my mind. I forgot all about it until everything started happening in our world. Everything started happening and all these things started happening with race and white and black. I can't believe everything that's happening, actually. So with everything going on, of course, I'm on Facebook. I was watching Facebook, things are going on all over the country. On YouTube, I was watching videos on YouTube. Everything that's happening all over the country, all the latest updates, I was watching. Oh my goodness, I was thinking, what is going on? Why is everyone so crazy? Why is everyone going crazy? There's nothing different. Whites and blacks, what is going on with these people? Why is everyone all of a sudden so race aware? Like, why is my whiteness so important now, or so terrible now? Why is blackness so prominent? Why is it okay to be black and being white is such a horrible thing? Everything just was confusing to me, and Satan started whispering in my mind, "Well, you have black daughters now. Oh my goodness, they're like mine to raise and mine to take care of and mine to teach. And they're in the same house with me. And what am I going to do about this? And what should I be telling them about the current events of the day? And what is going on?" I can't even understand it myself. Make less. Explain it to someone else. I don't understand. And then I heard how black people were hunted, and I thought, what in the world? Where have I been? Where have I been? Besides the incident at the dentist office, no other real bigotry or prejudice or anything like that had ever been shown to me. Okay, except for perhaps some stares. People would look at us weirdly, like, why are there so many kids? I would think maybe. Why are there black children with a white family? Maybe they were trying to figure out who was with whom. Because I do have older daughters, maybe they thought some of the black children were with the white girls. I don't know. But why was I so behind? Why did I not know everything was going on? Why? I was just so confused. I don't know. And then there was like the stuff going on with Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben and all this stuff. What? I was so confused. And then I thought, I don't know what I'm doing raising these kids. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I going to do when they get older? Is really what I was thinking. How am I going to raise them? I don't know how to raise black children. To live in this kind of day and age, apparently they're being hunted and they're getting shot and killed by terrible policemen, which I didn't know that. But I had to stop. I had to stop thinking about this. So I had my spiritual mentor, actually 2 or 3. I asked them, can I call you and just talk this through with you? And one of them, my mentor, my iron, I said, can I call you and talk to you about this? And can I just talk to you through this? What am I thinking and get it organized? She said yes. So I said, okay. And I started just talking and mulling through everything out loud to her. And she and I came up with an observation that some people are making a big deal out of nothing, and the way I'm raising my children is the same, and that's fine. And I didn't need to have all this awareness going on. I didn't need to be so aware of everything going on to rear children that I've adopted from a different race. I started looking in the Bible. I started looking at different race issues in the Bible and went to the Ethiopian woman that Moses had married. And it's interesting that even in the first 5 books of the Bible, Moses, the meekest man in the world, the meekest man that's ever lived, married an Ethiopian woman. And he got looked at and made fun of. No one liked that. But he wasn't the one in trouble. The one making fun of him was. So Miriam and Aaron were the ones in trouble. Miriam and Aaron, were disciplined. Moses didn't do anything wrong by marrying her. So then I searched, race. I searched race. And I had searched this before a long time ago when, a long time ago, for some reason, I remember Ken Ham. I had gone to the Creation Museum. I remember one flesh. There's only one flesh. And actually, I'm a science teacher, so I remember researching this probably because of heredity, studying heredity for a science lesson. And there's one flesh. Not many races, not a lot of races. There's different ethnic groups. I remember that. So that helps me a lot to know there's one race, the human race. And then in studying that, I come across this critical race theory, and that blew my mind. How did I not know about a critical race theory? And you just have to look that up. It blows my mind, critical race theory. It's very hard for me to not have known about this. And I had known for years. I have known since I was 19. Well, even in high school. I went to high school with black people. I went to elementary school with black people. I mean, they lived like probably 5 minutes from my house. 5 minutes probably from my house. So I'm not like in a county or a neighborhood or whatever where there's no black people. And they lived pretty much the same as me, I worked when I was 19. I worked in the same hospital with black people, and you know what? The black people were in all areas of the hospital like me. Like I was just a worker. But there was a manager who was black. There were housekeepers that were black, so there was someone above me black, someone lower than me. There was no difference. Like, I didn't look at them like, oh, well, they're housekeepers, so they're lower race, or anything like that. And because the CNO was black, I don't know. I never thought of anybody being oppressed or just critical race theory just blows my mind. So how is this going to affect me in raising my adopted children? It won't. I am not changing the way I teach my children. I'm not going to change the way I rear children that I've adopted because of how they look and what color of the skin they have, or anything to do with critical race theory, or anything regarding police officers. And I'm going to teach them to respect authority, just like I've taught my white children. I've taught them to respect all authority, no matter where they are or who they're around. I've taught them to respect teachers. In the library, they're to respect the librarian. Everywhere we go, we respect authority. So it's no different when they get pulled over by policemen. I have so many stories that have come out, and just trying to discuss this with people because I just felt really ignorant in the fact that I have taken this on and didn't know that, I heard literally black people were hunted. Didn't know that. But after my research, I found out it's probably not true. Sorry. I don't know if you think that. I just don't think, at least where I live and my our perception here, I just don't think that's the reality. So I'm not going to do anything differently in rearing my children and raising children. After all this research, discussion, pondering, mulling, sleepless nights, discussions, there's nothing different that I'm going to do. I'm going to teach them to behave. I'm going to teach them that they have to educate themselves, they have to work hard, they have to do everything just like my white children are going to have to do. They have to be in the right place, the right time. I'm going to monitor everything they do, everything they say, who their friends are. I listened to a CD, actually. This was before podcasts came out. And the number one thing that influenced children the most for success in life, this was done by Prison Guard. He had done some interviews of prisoners as they came into prisons. So he did like the intake. And his son was teaching this. His son was telling this story about his dad, and his name is Jay Weil. Jay Weil, W-I-L-E. And so his dad was doing intakes for prisons and prisoners, prisoners in prisons. Blah. And so he did the intake, and he asked this question. He said, what was one thing your parents could have done differently that would have affected you ending up here in prison? And a lot of the overwhelming response was they could have monitored who my friends were. And that always stuck in my head. Our number one job, or maybe not our number one job, but a big part of our job is to monitor who our friends are and to monitor who our children hang out with. So, of course, my friends, of course, so who I hang out with is going to affect who my children hang out with. And that is very important to who they become. Who you hang out with determines who you are going to be like. So that's a big goal of mine, to have rich friends, not in the sense of money, but in the sense of mental, emotional, spiritual richness. And that's who we want to hang out with. That's who we want to be like. That's who we want to become, spiritually rich. And that's who we want to aspire to be. So I just want to say we will have challenges, I'm sure, as they get older. We'll have challenges just like we had in the dentist office that day. I know that exists, that part exists, that there are people who are biased and that are prejudiced, and we will get through that part of it. But overall, I'm not going to do anything differently because my black children are black. And all of this, because I'm doing impressing minds, I'm doing like foster care and adoption. Why am I doing this today? Why am I doing this? I'm doing it for myself. This blog post is for myself and getting everything down on paper, but on a blog post. But what do I want you to learn from this? If you're listening or you're watching, you're reading, you can do this. So don't let these issues that are going on in the world today deter you from taking on another race. These children need you. Don't let this deter you from choosing another race, one that is different from your own. I have a friend also that adopted from an Asian culture, and she's had some very mean things said to her children, and maybe not so mean, but like someone say, "Can you speak English?" And they were like, "Yes, we can speak English," because they looked Asian. So just laugh about it instead of, being upset. Don't let this deter you from being involved in foster care and taking on this challenge. Don't let this deter you at all. The ethnic diversity won't be a drop in the bucket in the challenges that you're going to have. You're going to have more challenges than the ethnicity of the child if they're in foster care. They'll have more challenges because of the neglect and the trauma. Don't worry about this part of it. This would be the least thing to worry about, I think. This is my daughters are not the first, ethnic diverse children that we've had in our house. We had other children who were different from us. We had some Puerto Rican children in our house at one point. We had other biracial children. And never thought twice about it, actually. Never thought about it until recently. So I just wanted to let you know, do not let this deter you from choosing foster care and choosing someone different from you and choosing someone who is ethnically different. And so I'm Kristen Atkins from Impressing Minds, and I hope and pray that you will not let this stop you from your calling. You'll not let this stop you from fulfilling your destiny, so you can help someone else's destiny. You can help some little person's destiny to be all that they can be, and you can love them no matter what color they are. You know, Jesus loves the little children of the world, red and yellow, black and white. They're all precious. And I want to know your thoughts and feelings. If you want to comment below and let me know what you think. Have you experienced anything like I did at the dentist office? Let me know. How did you handle it? Did you handle it better than I did? I wish I could do that over again. I wish I could have engaged him and had a little discussion and maybe changed his way of thinking and let him know that, you know, there were 500,000 children in foster care and that these precious children needed a mom and dad at that moment, and that's why I had them in my care.